Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Fave 5s for you, and it is my Fave 5 summer camp horror movies. That's right. Wow. The lights just flickered. I don't know if you saw that. Spoopy. But yeah, it's time to piss a bunch of people off. Because I have opinions, and my list... people are going to be angry because people find the summer camp genre, or I guess subgenre of horror, to be like sacred. Like, if you do not have the original Friday the 13th, and of course I love it, but if that's not your number one, then they're gonna get you. But like, it's not my number one, and it's not on my list. There's a Friday the 13th movie on my list, but it's not that one. Anyway, let's get into the list, okay? And see how many people I can get very angry at me. Okay, so number 5 is going to be Sleepaway Camp 2. I love Sleepaway Camp, don't get me wrong. I love Sleepaway Camp, but once you know the ending, and can I spoil Sleepaway Camp at this point? I think that's the reason why Sleepaway Camp is not ever up higher on the list, because it's so spoiled at this point. If you Google Sleepaway Camp, the first thing you're gonna see is that image. You know what I'm talking about. That image, but Sleepaway Camp 2, I find just a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun. I like horror comedies. You're going to realize this as we go. I love horror comedies. Love them. There are 3 on the list. I'm sorry. This is a horror comedy. I think that Springsteen. Pamela Springsteen. I think she does a great job in the role of Angela. Like, Felissa Rose, of course, that's Angela. But Pamela Springsteen does a really good job. I keep wanting to call her Pamela Springfield, but that's like Rick Springfield, and she's, yeah, no, it's not Springfield, it's Springsteen. Yes, she's Bruce Springsteen's sister, I do believe. Anyway, that's besides the point. She does a great job in this, and we get ridiculous kills. I mean, what are you looking for back there? A gun? No, a drill. Like, it's great. You get the Unhappy Camper song, which I'm not gonna sing. I already did try to carry a tune earlier. Well, not really, but you know, I'm not gonna sing the the Happy Camper song, but the Happy Camper song. Come on, it's so great. So yeah, that's why I like number 2 more than number 1. This is gonna be a trend, trust me. Okay. On to number 3, number 4. We're skipping one. On to number 4. Let's do this. It's early. Okay. So number 4 is 2015's Final Girls. Now this one, in case anybody hasn't seen it, is about... There's more of a story to it about a girl who loses her mom, who, her mom was a B-movie actress who starred in summer camp horror movies. And they get sucked, her and her friends get sucked into the movie, basically. And she gets to be with her mom and all this stuff, but essentially, they are sucked into a summer camp slasher. So, it's all tropes, right? All tropes. Now, this stars Taissa Farmiga, Vera Farmiga's sister, who is a very big star from American Horror Story, and I absolutely love American Horror Story. Particularly, shout out to American Horror Story 80... is it 84 or 85? Oh, wow. I'd go over and get my Blu-ray copy. Do I have that? We are prepared. We are very prepared. Yes, prepared. Okay. Yeah, but anyway. I love American Horror Story, is what I'm trying to say. So I love Taissa Farmiga. I can't pronounce her name, so I'm going to pronounce it like 16 different times. But anyway, she's great in this. It's really fun, really, really fun, but it's kind of bloodless, and that's why it's not higher on my list, is that it's bloodless. Like, it's very PG-13, and with these movies, you kind of need an R. You really do. To make it fun, right? You need the good kills. You need the blood. You need the boobs. You need all these things for a good summer camp slasher, or summer... That's not slasher. I'm not getting to that debate. What is a slasher and what isn't. That is why I'm having trouble trying to do a top 5 slasher movies or something, because what's a slasher? Is there supernatural elements? Is there not? There are so many of them, and yeah, no. But what I'm trying to say is that this should have been an R. If this had been an R, it would have been absolutely perfect. Which brings me to number 3. So we'll just move right on to number 3. For number 3, I have another horror comedy, because Final Girls and Sleepaway Camp 2, they were both horror comedies as well. Sleepaway Camp 2 being more horror comedy, and Final Girls almost parody, but not quite. It's very meta, as is this. This is almost parody as well. This is You Might Be the Killer from 2018. This is a Shudder original, I think, and it stars Allison Hannigan and Fran Kranz, and both those people are, well, both of them are Joss Whedon alumni, but both of them I absolutely adore. I was absolutely in love with Willow on Buffy, yeah, and Willow is basically playing, Allison Hannigan is basically playing Randy in this movie from Scream, so it's kind of great. She works at the video store, she knows all about movies. She's basically the Randy character in this movie, and Scream is my favorite horror movie of all time. Just in case anyone was wondering, yeah, Scream is my favorite horror movie. It just is. I love Scream. But she's the Randy character in this, and Fran Kranz is playing a camp counselor that's just having a bad time, okay? You need to watch this movie. I don't want to spoil it, even though the title is a spoiler as it is. You might be the killer, because they're like, he might be the killer, but he is actually the counselor, or leading the counselors at this summer camp, and suddenly people are starting to die, and he's trying to figure out who the killer is, but you might be the killer. It's great. It's funny. This has blood. This makes up for the blood, okay? The blood, it's great. It's hilarious. I've watched this so many times. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. So if you haven't seen You Might Be the Killer, it's probably still on Shudder. I haven't watched it in a few months, but I'm probably going to again very soon. But it's probably still on Shudder. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, check out You Might Be the Killer from 2018. Okay, so now we're done with the horror comedies. Okay, so there's only 2 slots left. And this one is going to Friday the 13th, Part 2. Now, this is actually not my favorite Friday the 13th. My favorite Friday the 13th is Part 4, but to me, that one doesn't qualify as a summer camp slasher because it doesn't actually take place really in Camp Crystal Lake. It takes place in the surrounding area around Crystal Lake. So it's at cabins. You don't really get the campground. You know what I mean? Like the actual summer camp. Like it would probably show up really well on a Cabin in the Woods movie top 5, and I'll probably do that because I love Cabin in the Woods movies as well. I love me some Evil Dead. I love me some Cabin in the Woods with Franz Kran. I wonder. But yeah, no. I'm picking Part 2. I like Part 2 more than Part 1. I just do. It's a better movie to me. I like Amy Steele. She is my favorite, ultimate, final girl. Friday the 13th final girl. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Friday final girl is what I was trying to say. But Amy Steele is my favorite final girl from the Friday the 13th series. I like most of the characters in this. I can remember most of the characters. The kills are great. I like the wheelchair thing. It's a good movie. I really, really love Friday the 13th Part 2. I keep doing this, but yeah, Part 2. I don't have much more to say there. Sackhead Jason. I like Sackhead Jason. I really do. Well, obviously I like Hockey Mask Jason, but I don't know. There's just something about a sackhead killer that I find creepy. Time the Dreaded Sundown is another one that I really, really love that has a sackhead killer. Yeah. Friday the 13th, Part 2 is number 2. Okay. My number 1 campground, or summer camp, I should say, horror movie is Fear Street 1978 from this year, from 2021. I absolutely loved all the Fear Street movies. I really did. And to me, 1978 is a perfect summer camp slasher. You have really good characters with really good character development. The characters you hate at the beginning of this movie, you love by the end of this movie. It's great. And it throws you for a loop. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I seen it coming with the sisters. But that's just me and someone who watches way too many movies and don't even know what real life is anymore, okay? But this has great kills. It has a great story. There's more to it than just hacky slashy, but there's a lot of hacky slashy. This movie is not afraid to kill children. They don't kill them on screen because it isn't R. It's not like unrated. They're not as bad as to go ahead and kill them on screen. But you see some aftermath, and they are not afraid to kill a child. And actually, in Fear Street 1666, good lord, are they not afraid to kill a child. But I'm not talking about 66. Again, I love that too. That movie was amazing. But 1978, they just slaughter the hell out of just everybody. And some of these kills are brutal, man. And because you're set up from the first one, knowing what the killer is supposed to look like, again, he's another sackhead killer, technically, but he's not a sackhead killer until the end. End-ish. He's not a sackhead killer during the whole thing. But every time you see him pick up an axe, you get nervous. And I believe Horror Guru touched on that, because I noticed that too. You get that, like, feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you like this guy too. You really do. He's just a nice guy. But yeah, that is my favorite, my current favorite. Though these things change. These are not, again, these are my opinion. These are my favorites. So these things are bound to change. But that is my current favorite summer camp slasher, is Fear Street 1978. And now everybody's angry. Oh well. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna record a Freak Show's Forgotten Films, and I'm gonna edit some stuff, and I'm gonna wait for backlash. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.